Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this. It is the 9th of July. It is 6:49 a.m. It is Sunday. Welcome, a brand new day. It is not sunny, but it's not dim and dark and raining either. It's kind of a gray day today, but yesterday, well, not yesterday, the day before when I went out for walkies and made a video out of that, you saw how gray and awful that was, and yet it turned out to be a very bright, sunny, warm day by the end of the day. So, just because it's gray and not sunny now doesn't mean it's not going to be sunny later. I mean, it may be. In fact, it is sunny if you go above the cloud layers. The clouds only surround our Earth and not the sun itself. That would be pretty weird, wouldn't it? But anyway, though, thumbs up. It's a brand new day, and I got things that I've written down on my subjects list so that as I talk and process, I want to bring this back over this way. My apologies. Maybe I'm going to be a little clearer. I'm going to things to talk about so that I can hopefully process and get my brain all working better. I actually do process better after talking because that's how my brain processes. I've always been a talker, and without talking I can't process, and without processing my brain is just, it's in worse shape than it is. So, thumbs up. Couple things I've been reading and thinking about. I just read an article on cracked.com about well, it's kind of like urban decay, except not really. It's showing places that are like you wouldn't believe they're here. Like salt mines and this huge complex underneath a place in the UK. It's a big bomb shelter that's only recently not been funded anymore, and only recently has come to light that it's been there. And they were talking about like the underground city in Seattle, because there's part of an underground city. Most cities, amazingly, are built on top of, even in the United States here, built on top of the previous cities and settlements that we built. So, I mean, it's not like the cities that we have, except, a lot, the newer ones that have cropped up in like the past 100 years. Those cities, yes, are different because they've just popped up. But the ones that have been around and have been built upward, like New York, Seattle, and even Seattle in a short period of time it's been around, there's just layers upon layers where it's just been crunched, built on top of, and then built on top of again, and then we forget and lose access to the stuff that's below, and we keep building up. Which is true. I mean, there's they do underground tours of the underground city in Seattle, where it's used to be regular, you'd walk outside and there'd be the stores, but now it's all built on top of and abandoned. And that's kind of fascinating, kind of amazing, because that's the way things have always worked throughout histories with our cities. That's why everywhere around the world, they'll just be going, well, we're going to lower the ground here so we can put in a parking lot. And then they tear down part of the ground and they discover ancient ruins of an old village that's like 2,000 years old. Because we just abandon, things get fallen on top of, and then we build on top of that. And then we discover these things later on. And in absolute amazement. But it's fascinating the way we do that. And one of the reasons I was bringing this up is because there's a series of books in a role-playing game system. I had first pronounced it the way it looked like it was spelled. It looks like Tecumel. But if you pronounce it the way the guy who made the game setting and world setting pronounced it, it's more Tecumel. But it takes place far off in the future, sort of. Yeah, it's probably about 30,000 years into the future when humanity has spread throughout the entire galaxy and most of, the known universe in our area. But then on this one star system, something happened and it collapsed and fell out of normal space into another dimensional space and has been there ever since. And there are like 6 different star-traveling species that had been on the planet when it fell. And so nobody knows what happened because they're still there. The descendants are still there on this planet that's still fallen. It's just, boom! No rescue. They've got to stay there. But it's because of that, there's the original species, hostile species that had been almost eradicated that, of course, is coming back. And are they evil? This was their planet. And so all of these 6 starfaring races that aren't starfaring anymore are trying to survive on this planet that was very hostile, had to be terraformed. And so they're stuck after all these thousands upon thousands of years, if not tens or hundreds of thousands by this time. And so there's all these amazing, weird societies. And they do that every couple thousand years. They crush cities and then build up on top of them. And that's just such a fascinating concept. I like that. That's guarantees excitement and adventure if you're going to do an RPG, because just like in our normal cities here, except so much more, there are ready built ruins and dungeons and labyrinths just underneath the city you live in. Thumbs up on that. I'd love to go exploring in some of these places. It would be so cool. Except that I can't explore. It'd have to be open enough where I could walk in without doing too much stuff. So not really exploring. Exploring after it's been explored and made safe. It works. So still, if you come across any of the series of books, he wrote about 3 or 4 books about Tegomail. M.A.R. Barker, he was a professor, a linguistics professor. Very fascinating world. Very fascinating world. Quite interesting. There's even magic that makes sense within the context of what's happened. So thumbs up. Let us see. The things I had written down. Oh yeah, one of the things I keep remembering little bits of my youth every once in a while. This one I've never really forgotten, but it's just not a big thing, so I've never really worked hard at remembering it. But I sent an email off to my mother because one of my earliest memories I have was a young child. Very young. My sister must have been like maybe 2 at that time. I'm 4 years older than she is. But I was a very young child. I was sick for whatever reason. We were in a camper, and I was up on the upper bunk bed part that goes over the, the cabin of the vehicle. And I was feeling sick, and apparently food had fallen out all over the floor from the refrigerator because my grandfather, who dealt with me with a belt, dealt with his daughters by he knew the refrigerator was not locked and closed adequately, but he did not tell her because he wanted her to have to clean up after it made a horrific mess so that she wouldn't forget next time. So that's how she had to deal with life and learning experiences. But she was cleaning up all this stuff, picking up stuff off the floor, and I remember leaning over and going, "Blah!" and watching the arc of vomit go whoosh and then cascade and splash off of her back as she was leaned over. Ah, memories. Which reminds me of the other cascading vomit memory I have when I was in the Air Force, when I was in tech school. For whatever reason, I decided when I went to the Airmen's Club, I wanted to get just drunk off of tequila. And you could only get 2 tequila shots at a time. So I stood in line, got 2 shots of tequila. I remember doing that about 5 times. So I had about 10 shots of tequila, just boom, boom, get in line, boom, boom, get in line. I don't remember leaving or being cut off or much of anything. I should have been not kicked out, but recycled from punishment because I was so drunk. I was trying to get into the wrong dorm buildings, getting pissed, slamming glass doors, and I should have shattered the glass doors, didn't. But the guy that was in charge of the floor, they take somebody who lives on the floor and say, "You're in charge of the floor," to give responsibility. So they're in charge of the floor. He used his stuff to talk to everyone and go, "He's a nice guy. Let me talk to him. I'll make sure that this doesn't happen again." Because of that, I didn't get into any trouble for that. But I remember at the end of that night, for whatever reason, I'm not quite sure, I was standing on a chair in my dorm room. And I remember watching the cascade of vomit arc from my mouth and go, woo, and then splashing onto the carpet. Why I was standing on the chair, I have no idea. Why I decided to puke off the top of the chair, I don't know, but it was different. Luckily, I didn't get kicked out, so that was a good thing right there. Oh, itchy, itchy. I wanted to go through and grab my Nintendo 64 because I was watching the Angry Video Game Nerd, and they were talking about, you know, the worst Nintendo game thing. So I've never had a Nintendo. I never had an original Nintendo. I had an Atari 2600, you know, the 2600. And then I went into the Air Force, and while I was in the Air Force, the video game crash occurred. And then when I got out of the Air Force, I had my Commodore 64, and I was playing with computers and not consoles. And so everybody else in the world was playing with the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, and I skipped it entirely. I had my Commodore 64 and I was happy. Then I got an Amiga, and then in 1993 I skipped over to the IBM PC clone market, and I've been using IBM PC clone machines since. But I've never had anything until the mid-90s, like 96, 97, when I wanted to get a console. And it was a toss-up between like a Sega Saturn and a PlayStation 1. I didn't know what to do. I talked to somebody that worked at work. We played with his PlayStation 1. I got one. It's been a ride ever since. I've had the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, I've got the PlayStation 4 Pro, I've had the original Xbox, an Xbox 360, I've got an Xbone downstairs, I've got a Dreamcast, I've got my Nintendo 64 that I bought just so I could play Perfect Dark on it, which I sold my Perfect Dark cartridge because I needed money. I also had to sell my Sega Dreamcast version of Skies of Arcadia, which I really hate myself for, but I needed money again. So what are you gonna do? Eat or play games? I needed to eat. So thumbs up. Well, let me see. Good golly, Miss Molly. Oh, real quick. I got these in my vehicle. I had ow, oh my, ay. One of the tendons went pop in my hand and it hurt like the devil. Holy smokes. I didn't get any real amounts of cannabis. I got some cannabis oil dabs yesterday, not a ton. Today my hands are feeling smacked with a hammer again. Normal, just bud pain. I mean, it hurts, but it's not death. Until just then when it just went pop, snap, and I was like, holy smokes. But this, cute little penguin was in the box of things, and it's a cute penguin. So I've got this one. This was a very cute piggy. It's kind of dirty, you know, and you can't wash these things, so I gotta live with it. But there's a piggy. It's a cute piggy. And then this one must have been my wife gotten a thingy, because there's a snowman, and I'm not really into Christmas stuff like that, or snowmen, but hey. I'd also bought, a couple of years back, a whole bunch of these. I wanted to like get my son involved with playing role-playing games, and I thought it would be fun to have these dice, foam dice, but I've never done anything with them. So I got them at a dollar store, so it wasn't expensive, but still, waste of money. Life is life. Gotta center myself there. Well, at 14 minutes and change, what I'm gonna do is I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab on my channel, which if you have a YouTube account, you have a Creator Studio. In the Creator Studio, there's a community tab. Inside is the comments that lists every comment in chronological order. So what I've done is, like I said, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments, and what I'm going to do is go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me comments. It's a range, 20 to 25. I lose track of stuff, and I'm terrible at pronouncing names, but better than I thought I was. I've done pretty good with a lot of names, but if I mispronounce your name, no disrespect is intended. So now, if you want a shout out, just ask for one, and you will get one if I can catch it. There was a Arklay Nation, R-K-L-E-I Nation. So thank you very, very much. That's one person that asked for and has now received a shout out. So then there's Mario Mercado, thank you very, very much. Jason Hatherley, thank you very, very much. So Fang, thank you very, very much. Craziest, thank you very, very much. Now, whether it's a good comment, a bad comment, or an indifferent comment, it doesn't matter. And I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm just going through and thanking you for having left a comment. Even if it's a terrible comment, thank you for having left it and getting me out of my head, dealing with the real world. That's an awesome thing. So thank you so much. And then there is Isatao Jallo, I-S-A-T-O-U-J-A-L-O-W. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced that, but again, I'm terrible at names. Void X Grimes, thank you very, very much. Zeppelinator 427, one son of a gun, another shout out. Jack Kenny, Kenny, sorry about that, thank you very, very much. And Seth Septic Eye Covers, son of a gun, thank you very much. Angel Delgado, thank you, greatly appreciate. Maddie Metz, thank you very, very much. Robo Weed, greatly appreciated, thank you. Max Income Tax, thank you very, very much. And Demon Martinez, thank you. Yosef Mengele, thank you very, very much there. Jacob Frederick, thank you, greatly appreciated. Gurren Logan, again, thank you very, very much. And Shaniqua Lashana Jackson, thank you very, very much. Hannes Baron, thank you very, very much, greatly appreciated. Preachy Mink, thank you very, very much. Guillermo Alvarado, thank you very, very much. And Delusionary Killer, thank you, greatly appreciated. ATL, thank you. And last but not least, Chronocycle, thank you very, very much, greatly, greatly appreciated. Ooh, I'm at 17 minutes and change, so I need to hurry up. I'm going to do my greetings, where I'm going to say various greetings in various people's home languages. If you'd like to hear a greeting in your home language, if you could drop it into the comments down there, and if I hurry up and get it done, I'll actually add it onto the list. It'll make it on there eventually. So, bom dia, dia dit, dia gwit, guten tag, annyeonghaseyo, buenos dias, buona dimanata, ohayo, labrit, labas ritas, kamusta, buongiorno, terahomokos, yorageld, barre baive, Bari Luz, Ni Hao, Kalimera, Bonjour, Boker Tov, Jean Dobry, or less formally, Chest, Labdien, Dobre Utro, Mesa Ol Haley, which is actually good afternoon, Dobre Rano, Bereda, Privyet, Merhaba, which is also good afternoon, and of course go forth and have the crack. Good food, good drink with good friends. Does not have to be an alcoholic beverage, doesn't have to be crack cocaine, doesn't have to be a prostitute spreading her thighs for you. It can be all of these things, but doesn't have to be. Good food, good drink with good friends. Definite thumbs up on that. Oh, at 18 minutes and change, good golly, Miss Molly, I'm going to have to quickly say, if you can check out my links down there, that would be awesome. Greatly, greatly appreciated. I've got like merch that you can check out. I've got links, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, and my blog. I think that's all of them. I'm not sure, but if you could check them out, that'd be awesome. My thanks to everybody who has donated to my continuing campaign to keep me alive, my GoFundMe. If you could check that out and donate, that would be awesome. And my thanks to every single one of my my Patreon.com patrons. You're beautiful, awesome people. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been able to stay in this house this long. Thank you so very, very much. If you could toss me a like, that would be awesome. I do appreciate all the positive validation I can get from my existence. Definite thumbs up. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be pretty cool. Now, I understand if you wouldn't. I'm a weird older guy. I'm not for everybody. I know that. But if you are down with it and you do want to subscribe, then thumbs up. I will do my damnedest to keep you entertained and smiling from now until the end of time. The literal end of time, when the sun is just a dried, hard cinder and our planet is evaporated into the ether. Then, and only then, will we think about describing. That's a weird way to put it. Will we think about dissolving the subscriber list? Thumbs up for that. Well, in 19 minutes of change, I'm not going to have 4 videos a day for a while. I need a little bit of time to recover from that. I'm just going to have my normal reaction video and then a game video. I'm going to get my other channel verified today, and then I'm going to start having my game videos as well as my game videos here. So thumbs up on that. Well, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that, my friend, is a very good thing.